Welcome, we're in Bali, the capital of digital nomads. I'm here with my friend Dian. She's a fellow digital nomad, and together we are gonna interview digital nomads on the streets, in co-working spaces and in restaurants, just to find out how they became a digital nomad, how much they're earning, why they chose Bali, and a lot of them tips for you how to get started. If you're interested in that, make sure to stick along and let's go. Who are you and where are you from?
My name is Ruby and I'm from the Netherlands.
My name is Simon. Come from Poland.
Hi, I'm Francis. I'm from Indonesia.
John Sarantino from New York.
Rohan. I'm originally from India, but technically now I'm from Vancouver, Canada.
What are you doing right now?
I was working at a tech company based in Silicon Valley. I quit my job and I'm starting a business.
I help entrepreneurs save time through systems.
I am a graphic designer.
I design brands and make marketing strategies and manage social content.
I have a UGC agency.
A UGC agency. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, basically I make creatives for brands and they use those creatives to run their ads.
That sounds interesting. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for, I would say, about 8 months.
How did you get started into this then?
Well, I already had an e-com business myself, and then I made a couple TikToks and those went viral for my brand. So then I really got into the whole social media thing and I really enjoyed it. And then at one point I stopped that e-com brand and then I proceeded going into TikTok organic. And then I got a couple clients there and then I realized actually organic reach to sell that is really hard. So then I transferred into making ads.
How long have you been living in Bali?
I came here 2 months ago, so I'm relatively fresh.
So I've been in Bali for 4 years now.
I've been here 9 months now.
It's 2 weeks is when I arrived in Bali.
How long have you been a digital nomad?
2-3 years.
Probably like 3.5 years.
I guess 2 weeks technically.
And it seemed like you had a really good job. What made you decide to quit that job and become a digital nomad?
I worked at the job since I graduated about 3.5 years ago and learned a lot, moved the ladder, and I believe I picked up most of the skills I could have picked up, and I just wanted to take the plunge and get going by my own now to do my own thing.
Right. Do you feel like this was always a dream that you had, or was it something that you felt while doing your regular work or job and then realizing like, there must be something different as well?
I did feel right from the get-go that there must be something different and I wanted to take the ropes in my own hand.
Do you mind sharing how you got started as a digital nomad?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I was actually studying university. I was going to business school, but I didn't like it, to be honest. So I was looking for a different thing to do. And one thing that I wanted was being location independent. So I found digital marketing. So this is how I started. So I quit my university, learned it for 6 months by being a waiter, got my first job, worked for 5 years as first in marketing, then in product management. Then I saw 2 problems that I wanted to solve related to time and lack of systems. So I quit it 1.5 years ago and I started my business.
Like, how do you get clients?
Well, I started off with just going to networking. Yeah, I got referrals from there. Yeah, just put together some good portfolio of your work and just be confident enough to tell it to people.
Where do you usually find this type of work available or your clients?
I am on Twitter and now on YouTube. I actually started a YouTube channel, so mainly Twitter. Processized is the name of my company, of my business.
Nice. You guys should check it out. Another digital nomad, inspiring digital nomad.
What made you choose Bali?
So I wanted something to do with digital nomad and surround myself with open-minded people, and it feels Bali is closest to that.
But why I like Bali is because back home there's a lot of stuff you need to do. For example, you need to do your own laundry, you need to cook every day. And then there's also a big aspect of having a lot of family and friends, which is really nice, but then it's also a lot of obligations. So I like Bali because it basically cancels all that out. So you can just really work on your business and stay focused.
I was always looking for a hub with like-minded people, and I've never found it in Europe really. So I've had many friends who told me it's amazing here, many like-minded people, and yeah, I decided to come, and it's amazing.
From the amount of quality of people that you meet, it's been unbeatable. I've been to different cities. I've been in Silicon Valley as well. People are passionate and pursuing their own thing over there as well, but it's a completely different framework. Versus in Bali, you meet people from everywhere around the world who are trying to make it on their own while having as much equity to themselves as possible.
A friend had mentioned to me that they were going to Bali and you should come and hang out, you're gonna love it. And so I came, I spent a month, and Bali, things kind of fell into place, and so that's why I ended up coming back and staying long term.
How much do you think it takes to sustain a lifestyle here in Bali?
Based on my last 2 months, I would say around 2K, 2000. Yeah. So it's a good ratio.
And I would say I spend around 3 or 4K a month.
Probably my biggest expense is food, 15 to 2,500 for me. I'm pretty low maintenance, so it's not too expensive, I guess.
Yeah.
Say 600 for rent, 300 to 400 of food, and maybe 200 bucks for some extra random activities. So maybe 1,200 a month, but I haven't finished my month yet to be able to, accurately say that.
Do you mind sharing how much do you make roughly per month as a digital nomad?
It depends on a month, but I would say now around 10K a month.
It could be anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000. It's really hard, you know. You can work a lot and make a lot, or you can work very little and make little.
For me, a brand design is mostly 500 to 2,000 USD. That's a minimum.
What is the earning potential like running an agency like that?
It's limitless, I would say, because you can sell packages, but you can also negotiate rev shares with your clients. And if your creative does really well, there's no limit on what you can make with one creative.
And how hard would you say it is to get into? Because I can assume like you also have to understand what kind of content that works, because my background, I do advertising as well, and I know one of the hardest parts is creating the content that converts.
How hard is it to get in? Don't think it's hard to get in. I think it's hard to be successful. But if you really understand your customer and you have genuine interest in why they do what they do, you will succeed.
Interesting. There's some golden nuggets right there. How do you like balance your life as a digital nomad?
Self-control, self-management. Just have discipline. You gotta have boundaries. Prioritize what's more important for you.
It's amazing. Everything I need is here. So there are amazing gyms here as well, where you can work out, relax. The weather is just so good for resting, for recharging. So I mean, work-life balance is 5 out of 5.
It's good. I mean, like I've definitely in the last 9 months seen more sunsets and taken more walks and been able to kind of balance in that sense. But it varies because I think a lot of people here, especially myself, are like sort of trying to figure out what we want to do and what we want to do longer term, away from some of the things that we might have done in terms of career, for jobs and full-time jobs to get here. And so, I mean, it depends on where you're at. You know, if you want to make something, create something, build something, then I think you sign yourself up for doing a lot more work with a little less balance.
How is then your work-life balance? Because I've heard some whispers here in the street that you are like the hardest working person here in B-Work.
I would say it could be better. I live through my work, so yeah, I really enjoy working.
I think the balance has definitely been skewed. Definitely the first few weeks you come here, you're going to be trying to see what fits your vibe and where you can focus the best. You're going to be meeting people, agreeing to do interviews at random times, giving up work for 15 minutes. So it's part of the game. I like it. I knew this is going to happen the first couple of weeks and I was up for it. So yeah. But now I signed up for this co-working spot and I'm starting to gain my focus back and I'm able to work longer hours than like a week ago.
What would you say is like the hardest thing as a digital nomad being here?
Maybe surrounding yourself with some solid group of friends, because people leave a lot and it's very transitional. It comes with relationships as well. So you gotta be more selective.
If you would have some advice for somebody that's watching right now and they might want to become a digital nomad and they want to live in Bali, like what would you advise them?
I would advise them to take the leap. Okay. Just do it.
And what if they're like right now stuck in a 9-to-5? Like how do they take the leap? Like do you have any, like I don't know, like how did you do it? Or like do you know anybody that went from a 9-to-5 to like this lifestyle?
Yeah. Well, I think the most important thing is you need to do what you like, because then or what you love, what you're passionate about, because that means you can do it 24/7. And in the start, that's my opinion, that's what it takes to do it 24/7. So just look at what are some things that I really enjoy doing and what are some things that can make money, because it needs to be like the golden middle, right? So go and search for that, because I think a lot of people that are stuck in a 9 to 5, they never really looked further than how much money does this make me, or how, no further than that. They never really looked into what is the thing that makes me passionate.
That's some golden advice. Thank you.
I think a lot of people, when they're younger, like, I want to go travel and do this thing and travel around the world while working, and that's great. I did the same thing. It took me 7 years to do that, though. And so I think a lot of people rush into it thinking that they're going to have to figure it out. They may not have the most sound foundation, or, I've met a bunch of people here who are very young and they're like, yeah, I just quit my job. I only have X amount of money and I'm just gonna figure everything out right now. And it feels like that's a lot of pressure to do. And so I think, like, if you want to travel and you want to have that lifestyle of like traveling and working, don't rush it. It doesn't have to rush. Again, like, it took me 7 years to do this, and now I'm able to comfortably do it myself. And times where I may not have the most work, I know, like, I have savings that I've put in place just in case I never did get a job again, that would give me time to figure those things out. Whereas if you come here with a lot of different pieces all over the place, it's going to take you're going to feel rushed, and you're not going to be able to do the things that you might have hoped that you would be able to do.
Nowadays it's very easy. So if you have the will, if you have the desire, you'll make it, right? You just have to find the right thing. There are many things to do, so it depends on you, right? But I would just start with something, not overthink it, because it's very easy to get started. Even like after 1 or 2 or 3 months, you can start making money online. So just pick one thing, start it as quickly as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I started in marketing, but after a year or 1.5 years, I transitioned to product management, and then I started my own business, right? So the most important thing is to get started, I would say.
Is that also something you would recommend, like maybe for an aspiring digital nomad that's maybe now working in tech, or maybe has a full-time job, to maybe do that first, go that route, make it a little bit more safe for yourself, save some money, and then take the leap? Or how, if you look back at it, would you done the same way, or would you have done it maybe a little bit different?
I would say it really depends on the kind of person you are, right? Like, how much security do you personally need in order to take this sort of a step? Do you even need to take this sort of step is something you should ask yourself as well. Not everybody needs to be a digital nomad. Not everybody needs to start a company. You could be pretty happy being an employee at a company as well. I would say it really depends on you as a person, and I don't think there's a general advice. For me personally, it was, yes, I wanted to build some sort of financial net for myself and have a certain net worth by a certain age. And I saw that taking a plunge at a job, that was a possibility. And I took that risk as well, because I joined a startup that ended up going public versus joining a public company and being, like a FANG employee, as they say in tech.
We're gonna shift a little bit to the dating questions.
Spicy.
So have you gone any dates here in Bali?
It's interesting because right before I came here, so 2 months ago, I split. I was in a relationship before, and coming here, I was pleasantly surprised because it's very easy to meet new people, and people are more open. So at least for now, I've met a few females, and it was quite good.
How do you meet these people?
I made a challenge that I won't be using Tinder or any apps. So either just approaching girls. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Do you have any interesting dating stories you would like to share?
I don't know. I was just approaching, asking what's your favorite dog name, and it went quite well.
Yeah.
Was better than I expected, actually.
Yeah. Building the genuine connection. So if you heard someone asking the dog names,
That would start asking hey, what's your favorite dog?
yeah,
that's a referral to you.
Yeah. So do you have any experience dating in Bali? How has it been so far?
I have dated in Bali, and it's definitely a roller coaster. I think I've also traveled for 3 years, and I've dated in other countries while traveling, and you build a thick skin over time, and you kind of have to, because while traveling is great and I get to work from different countries and stuff like that, it doesn't necessarily make the best situation or environment to date, especially if you're moving around a lot. And so part of the reason why I've decided to kind of settle down in Bali more long term was to get those things in place and potentially approach dating at some point in the future.
Yeah, that's a big thing, because a lot of people, they come here for a very short amount of time and then they just do whatever and then they leave. So I think with dating, sometimes people are more guarded because they're like, oh, I'm not sure if you're gonna stay. Whereas back home, everybody's so settled everybody's super serious. Here it's different.
Friendships and connections. In terms of dating, I haven't done much on that aspect. I'm just like going with the flow like a fish.
How have you experienced dating so far here in Bali? Because most people tell us it's way different than in most cities.
So far, I see really, really hot people everywhere, really fit people from all over the world. So it's been would be a good way to put it, eye-opening. I have approached people at the beach, at cafes, and people have been pretty open and receptive to, you know, having a chat, coming out for a coffee or dinner. So far, that's been very great because people are open to your energy and having you approach them in a social setting. Dating apps, I'm not the biggest fan of. Sure, I was on it like a couple of years ago, but I just like to feel somebody's energy in person and just see if I vibe with them or not. And it's more efficient for me. And I can also, based on the place I'm at, so for example, if I'm at a co-working spot or if I'm at a cafe, I can sort of sense on what they're working on, what their ambition is, so I get a better match of how well their personality would fit compared to a dating app, which is just, I guess, based on photos for now.
All right, I think this was an amazing interview with so much insight and knowledge, and I love it. Thank you so much for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Wow, that was so much information. I hope this helps you in your digital nomad journey. I'm very grateful Dian was here, because if it wasn't for her, I might not have even done this video. So I'm really grateful for her. And check all the resources below. Like every person we interviewed, you will find below. Go check Dian's YouTube channel, her Instagram. She has also a resource if you want to have collaborations. Like everything you'll find in the description. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bade out.